and welcome to Puzzle Pieces. This is part of a walkthrough of the puzzle game Paradox of the Cryptomancers, which came out in 2018. And every level of the game has a different type of puzzle in it, and we're about to play through level 4. Okay, so the lift doors have opened, we'll step out, and we can see we're sort of floating on a platform in space. And there's various other platforms dotted around as well. So if we just go and have a look at the edges of the platform that we started on. Now it's meant to be a puzzle game rather than a kind of platforming game, although it is possible to kind of jump and move around, as you can see. So if we sort of come around this edge here, we'll step up this series of blocks. Now you can see as I walk around that blocks appear as I come close to them. Now, I grew up in the 1980s playing games like The Legend of Zelda, and I used to fill sheets of graph paper with hand-drawn maps of every level as I explored them. So I'm quite familiar with kind of wandering around a level and exploring bits and mapping it down as I get there. But it does seem like I'm actually going to have to traverse the entire level, and it's not always obvious which direction you have to go in to be able to do that. So I can see there are a few features in the level itself. There's a platform that has what looks like a kind of a four-poster bed and something else there, and I can also see another platform that's got the terminal, which I'm going to have to enter the solution to this puzzle on. So every level of the game, the puzzle has normally a single word solution which has to be typed into a computer terminal. So I'm just going to carry on exploring the level for now and see if I can get to one of those two platforms that has something of interest on it, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I've just fallen off the edge. So, I mean, this is a puzzle game, but obviously this particular level does require some kind of mechanics like moving and jumping, which is fine. I don't sort of mind that to break up the puzzleness, but the only problem is, as in the previous level, which I showed where you had to kind of position a telescope on the floor, the actual controls are not that great. They're not that responsive. The game's pretty jerky. So it's slightly frustrating to have to rely on pixel perfect jumping. So I'm now going to have to restart, but fortunately I have been drawing a map as I've gone along, so hopefully I'll be able to retrace my steps and get back to where I was. I've come the wrong way, so I think I might be stuck down here now. Am I stuck down here? Yeah, I'm just going to have to jump off the edge again. Okay, start again. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. You can see that these steps are rising up. Now this is getting interesting because this reminds me of the steps that were around the starting platform. That too had a series of ascending steps over there by the elevator, which kind of went round in a square going around and around. So there's sort of some element of symmetry here. Now I reckon from here I should be able to jump off hopefully and land on that platform. I don't want to fall off into the void again, so let's just try and line this up and hopefully I'll be able to do it this time. There we go. Yeah, we go. Okay, so we've got, what have we got here? We've got a bed. Bed with sort of an ornate design. Yeah, not much else going on there. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, we've got a portrait here. Now, if you've been following the other levels of this game, you'll know that there have been a series of paintings of famous 19th century people in each level, so that will probably end up being useful at some point. But there's not anything here particularly that's going to give me a puzzle solution, very obviously. These are just sort of arbitrary items, probably from the Unity asset store or something that have been laid around, so I guess we're going to have to continue. Okay, so now we're approaching the terminal, and again, as with the starting platform and the platform that had the bed on it, we'll notice that there's actually a sort of a square enclosure going around the platform here. So 3 corners of the level have this kind of additional thing going around them, additional squares in the corners of the level, and 1 corner doesn't. And in fact, when I go to look at the map I've made of the complete level, if you just look at a 2D top-down map, it looks like this. And now most of you will probably familiar that that looks like a QR code. So if I read that code in a QR code reader on my phone, I get a alphanumeric string which it represents. So entering that code into the console as follows. And we get checking and authenticated. So we've got congratulations, floor 5 is now unlocked. Now I'm not going to try and jump my way back over all these platforms towards the elevator. I'm simply going to jump off into the void and I'm back here again. But that's actually a pretty nice puzzle. I liked that one because as you play through it, you're not really obvious at any point that you're solving the puzzle. I was creating a map just to actually be able to find my way to the console in which I needed to enter the solution. And what I sort of didn't realise until sometime through creating that process, that actually the path that I was plotting in order to find where I had to enter the solution was itself giving me the solution to the puzzle as well. So I actually think that's pretty neat. I like that puzzle. The only thing I didn't like about it was the implementation in terms of the actual jumping mechanics and falling off the edge, because that frustrated me a bit. I'm not as great at action adventure games as I used to be, but as a clever implementation of a puzzle mechanic within a 3D game, I actually like that. So in the next video we'll go on and have a look what happens in floor 5.